Hi everyone, this is Danielle, and I thought I would do a quick flip through of how I do my planning. For 2 years, I've pretty much been in the Hobonichi Planner, though at times I will use rings, I will use a field note size or pocket size notebook. I've even done the bullet journal, but whatever I use, how I plan stays the same. So the first thing I'm going to show for you super quickly is my Hobonichi from last year. This is This is the first year I used the Hobonichi as a planner. And I tried a cousin, and there's nothing wrong with the cousin. It is just more than what I need, and everything felt redundant. So if you look, I track time, I track things like gas, movies we watch, and what I thought of the movie. So this is pretty much how I plan. It's all because I rarely take up a whole page. I often have a place for doodles or stamps or something fun like that. For instance, here, this is a stamp, and I got to play with watercolors. This is a stamp, and actually this is a second generation stamp. By that meaning I had stamped on cardstock for a different project, and then I stamped on here just so I could get a light faint image. So, but if you look through, and again, this is one of my favorite sketches I've ever done. I was so proud of myself. So also stickers. I print on clear sticker paper, and this is a piece of artwork my husband got for me while we were on spring break. So I will make my own stickers and for memories to put in here. So, and how I use this page has changed a lot. Even how I do the daily pages has changed regardless of what I'm in. But the basics has stayed the same. As you see, every now and then I do have a blank page. So, but here's stickers I printed. So that's while we were at Disney. That's when I got my Foxy Fix Honey Butter special occasion. So of course I had to mark the special occasion. So that is my Hobonichi from last year. So not only did it serve as my planner, but now it serves as a way to record my memories. So this is the one I'm using this year. I do have a variety of color or of covers. So this one is a custom made. Rowena from Sojourner made it for me, and I just love this cover. So I have several from Foxy Fix I also adore. You'll see if you look through my posts that I do change my covers fairly frequently, though admittedly I've been in this one quite some time. I have tried the Traveler's Notebook, the Foxy Fix size 3, and it's beautiful. It works great. It's just the notebook is fatter than I like. So I don't like fat notebooks. So I'm much better off in a cover. So I have my pencil board here, my shiitake. And this paper is from Hobby Lobby, and this is probably one of my favorite packs of paper of all time. I think it's called Country Rose, Country Road, something like that. But if you've seen any of my posts lately, you have seen this paper. I am at Mom of Kurt on Instagram, so if you see this paper, if you've seen my post, then you've seen this. I also love the Julie Nutting dolls. Just love her dolls. So this one I colored and using Copic markers and put her in here. So just for fun, honestly, I don't use these pages for more than a quick reference. But I still used my mild liners and highlighted the months just for fun to bring some fun color to these pages. I do use this for tracking, and I did this last year. It worked beautifully. I haven't transferred over December's yet, but obviously that's not a priority. So, but I keep track of miscellaneous items. So when I pick up prescriptions, when I fill fountain pens, anything like that, clean fountain pens. When I give the dogs their flea medicine, anything that isn't as routine or frequent to warrant its own box. Then I have the money symbol, and this is the day that bills are due. And so I write in the initials for the days that that particular bill is due, and then I color it in. Now for here, if you notice, I have an extra one here that isn't here. That's because this is a quarterly bill, so you won't see that all the time. I do take transplant call, so I mark the days I'm on call. And if I do a transplant, I actually mark the transplant. PTO, whether I took the day unpaid, whether it was a company business day, however it was, I keep track of that so I know how much I'm out of the office, especially since I do travel a lot. So, and my monthlies, just pretty generic monthly. One of the best ideas I saw from somebody on YouTube, and I think it was on YouTube, but anyway, I don't remember who it was to give them credit, but things that you do every year, and you need to remember, writing those on your months. So every January, I have to complete my self-eval for work, so writing that in here. I'm bad. I haven't scheduled my doctor's appointment and things like that. I have changed my files. I just haven't checked it off yet. So things that are due that month. So sometimes there are things listed. Sometimes it's just one. It just varies. So getting into the daily pages. So trying a different setup with my monthly. One goal. So I changed a lot at the end of last year, the planner I was using, and that was driving me nuts. Even though I used the same system, the fact that I was constantly in a different book drove me batty. So my goal was to use the same one, and using the Hobo was my goal. So I'm so proud of myself. I actually did it. Used it the entire month. This is not real washi tape. I don't like to stick a lot in my Hobo because I don't like it to be fat. And if you put washi tape, I learned this with my cousin last year, if you put washi tape in the same place over and over and over again, it bulks up there and then it's hard to write in that area. So I don't like to use a lot of washi tape. Engage. After losing my mom 2 years ago, I was not engaged in life. So that is my goal for this year, is to get involved with my family again, being more responsive, doing the things I used to do before I lost my mom. So Happy New Year. So again, I will put stamps in here. This is always done after the day has passed. I'm not going to use up any precious space if need be. So this is always an after the fact. Now you will find they are frequently not colored in. And the reason why they are not colored in is when I travel, this is with me. And I like to minimize the amount that I have to carry when I travel. So I leave these blank, and then I'll take my colored pencils with me, and that's when I will color these in. Now here's what I track. I track sleep, obviously. I did not start out the year great sleeping. I track what I am grateful for, the steps, clearly a slug that day. And this is my second year reading the Bible through chronologically, so this is today's reading assignment. I track water. I realize overall this isn't good, but this is actually really good for me. So this was a couple of bad days of eating, and unfortunately this year has been really bad eating overall. But by tracking it, I can see where I'm not doing well, and I can fix that. I track sunrise and sunset. Now I do a moon because I couldn't do a setting sun, so I do a moon. I track that day's weather. Blue is sleep, and orange is work. And I just want to make sure that I'm not giving too much of myself at work, that I have nothing left to give my family. So my signifiers, I needed to schedule my health screening for this year, so I use a checkbox. I use an open circle for any events. So those are listed. Very excited about Foxy Fix opening after the new year. On my way to work, on my way home from work, I listen to books on Audible. Love Audible. So if I listen to a book, I draw little headphones. I keep track of what I buy. So when Foxy Fix opened, I bought the number 2 and number 3 Moonlit. And then anything that I do, unplanned, not a task, I just put a dash mark. So the reason why I use a checkbox instead of a dot for task in the Hobo is frankly because I can. I have the stencil with me. I don't use a dot for notes because if I'm in my planner, in a ring planner, bullet journal, or monthly book, I use a dot for task. So just to keep things consistent, that's why I do that. And again, I track my mood each day. So this is just when something is mailed out to me. That is how I do that. Hard days at work. I'm a lung transplant coordinator, so the winter is particularly hard on us just because it's really hard on our patients. I keep track of gas and how much it costs. Just a fun thing to look at later. Again, more stamps that I got that I love and pictures I get to color in later. So this is how I plan, and it's regardless of what I plan in, this is how I plan. So a couple of things I want to show you on my Hobo that people have talked about, and I prefer the planner, the Hobonichi Planner, the English version. And the reason why, the few reasons I prefer it is, one, I prefer this cover. I don't like the beige cardstock cover. I prefer this cover, especially if I archive it on my shelf without a cover. Now, my first Hobo is still in a cover, but this one is not. So what I do, I prefer it for that reason. I also, let me go back here to a day that's totally blank. I prefer how the top is laid out. It's simple, it's clean, it's not messy. I don't like how the Japanese version, the original, has the boxes up here. I just don't like that. Many people don't like the time. This didn't bother me. Now, I have used the time in the planner. I just no longer do that. I did split my page down the middle, put timed items on this side and notes on this side. Didn't like that so much, so I totally disregard that. And that's the nice thing, is these icons are faint, so if you don't use them, it's not really going to distract anything. So, but what I would do is, a lot of the question is, okay, is it the top or below? So for this, for me, this would be 12:30. And let's say I divided my page here. The first 4 boxes, that would be on the hour, so 12 o'clock. If I had something scheduled at 12:30, I would put it in the second 4 boxes. So that's how I differentiate, since you really only have 1 hour per line, or at least when I was using it hourly, that's how I did it. So another complaint is you don't get the colors in the planner like you do the original, so you don't get to see the different colors for the month. Again, I prefer the months all being black. I really do. I even wish Sundays were black, because with the orange red, it's hard to see the grid sometimes, especially if the back side has written on, not because of bleed through, but just because the grid's so faint that it can be hard to see. But what I did this last year, and I really liked it. It are these tabs, and these are from Mochi Things. These are the leather tabs from Mochi Things. And so what I did is, the first page of each month, so I would put a coordinating washi tape for that particular month, and I would put a tab. But what I also did is, and it's not showing up on camera very well, but I actually took, for instance, all the February, and I colored this red. Now, it's not showing up on camera, but I can actually see it. So that's one of the things I did to make this more user-friendly for me. So in the back, since I do change my covers all the time, this is a pocket from Mochi Things, and I am so excited. I wish I had it sooner, but I didn't. Foxy Fix is releasing their pockets on Monday, and the one thing I know about Foxy Fix is I use their dashboards like water. They are phenomenal. I haven't bought a different dashboard from anybody since Foxy Fix released theirs. So I know their pockets are going to be phenomenal. And I won't be surprised if by the end of the year, if I end up putting the Foxy Fix pocket in here, because there is one divided like this. So even though I love Mochi Things and I have a ton of these pockets, because really that was the only place I could find a pocket like this that would stick on, as time goes on, they do start popping up. And in the one last year, I even ended up using washi tape to try and keep it pasted down, and would use glue and different things trying to keep it stuck down for the year. So I'm excited about that. I do use the weekly booklet. It's not green. I hate the color green. Unless it is grass, I am not a green fan. So I used Tim Holtz Distress Stains, and I colored the book with the silver, and I put on a Reset Girl sticker here, so now it is prettier. Again, since this is such a little book, I do not want to use stickers or anything like that in here. So this is just a stamp that's a washi tape. It's not perfect, but at quick glance, you realize it's okay. And how I do my weeks is, how I do my weeks is pretty similar. I have a quote up here. I write down the movies that are being released. And then I have a place for the people that I'm praying for. If they're initials, it's a patient. If it's a name, it's friends or family. This is the weather forecast, and it's just kind of fun to see what is forecasted on Sunday for the upcoming week versus what reality is going to be. I put my reading up here, so I keep track of that. And again, I do the same thing. So this patient is scheduled at 10:30. This patient is scheduled at 11:30. This patient is scheduled at 9:30. So that's how I use the time frames. I write small, I use abbreviations because the boxes aren't that wide in here. So I actually did use washi tape here. I messed up so badly that it was the only fix. So, but it's just one piece, so it'll be okay. This I just started doing this week, actually last week. I used the Memento ink, no, this is actually VersaFine, I think. Anyway, it's not chalk ink. When stamping on the Hobonichi, I've used the StazOn with a very light touch, and if you do with a light touch, that's okay. And I use StazOn if I'm going to do watercolor. If I'm not, I will use chalk ink. Now here, I did not use chalk ink, and that was intentional. So if you look here, I have the image here, but if you look, when I hold the paper up, you can see through it and see the shadow, but you don't have bleed through. This, I wanted to get my bang for my buck, so I used an ink that would allow it to shadow through pretty well. Now, I didn't bleed through, but the shadow is definitely there. So, and I did the same thing with this stack of books. You can see it really well here, and it shadows here. So I add something fun here for next week without having to add an image and interfere with anything that I'm doing. I'm pretty lucky. Sundays are not really scheduled, so this is pretty open. This, I decided to do a doodle instead of using the washi tape stamp. Again, engage is my word for the year, so I've been writing it on every page. Here, and I need to catch up my tracking here, but I'm tracking physical therapy, that I do my physical therapy routine, and taking meds. So this will change what I'm tracking. It's whatever I'm focusing on for the week, and then when I'm doing well, I will change to a different habit that I want to track. So this is how I use the weekly booklet. And the nice thing about the weekly booklet is I do use a number 2 Foxy Fix for my wallet, and this will fit in my number 2 if for some reason I don't want to take my hobo with me. Now, it's not very cumbersome. I can get the hobo and the number 2 into the Foxy Fix wristlet, so often both of them are with me, but if for some reason not, and I need a planner with me, then I can do the just take the weekly booklet with me. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully this gives you a few ideas on things you can do with the hobo to make it work for you. I color it. I do things just to make it fun, but also functional. Functional is most important. The fun comes afterwards. Y'all have a great day.